Let's talk a bit about this Saturn in Pisces transit. It began just in the same time, more or less, as the last full moon in Virgo, so on the 7th of March, and it will last until the 14th of February of 2026. So we are having almost 3 years of this transit. Saturn just came out of Aquarius, and now it will stay only at the first degrees, actually, because Saturn is going until 7 degrees until mid-June, and mid-June is turning retrograde, and it will go back to ground, to degree 0. So almost sliding back into Aquarius, and at mid-November it will turn direct again, and by the end of the year we will have Saturn at about 3 degrees. So it will impact only the first decade of 4 signs, actually, because it's impacting the mutable signs. So it's Pisces, of course, itself, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius. So what can these 4 signs expect, or also people that have in their birth charts important planets in the first 10 degrees of these 4 signs? Saturn is not an easy teacher. We know that. It has quite a reputation. So the teaching tools of Saturn are sometimes frustration, pressure of time, pressure of performance, things that don't go the way we want them to. So it's like this habit. So I hit a wall, and this wall is Saturn. But the wall is not there just to hurt us, just to mock us. It's there for a reason. It's there because maybe it's not the right time for us to have that thing. It's there because maybe we think we know what we want. We are sure we want that thing, but maybe it's not really what we want. It's there because maybe we have to course correct. We have to make a balance. We have to really be aware of how things are going without running too fast. So Saturn is teaching patience, building brick after brick. So for these 4 signs, it can be quite a moment of why are things so difficult? So some weak points will be showed, some missing things will be emphasized after this transit, and they will have to be slowed down in their actions in order to understand the right priorities, what is really important, what is really essential. Also, I like to give this metaphor of the sculptor. So Saturn is like that sculptor that out of a block of marble carves out an amazing and beautiful statue that can symbolize our true essence. But before revealing our true essence, we really must shed skin, let go of structures that we don't need anymore, layers, beliefs. That's what actually Saturn is doing, is bringing us back to the essence. So these 4 signs should focus really on that. And the more we can really engage a friendship with this Saturn without seeing him only as an agent of limitation or frustration, but as a teacher, like in Karate Kid, that keeps asking you to really show up and really commit and be there without saying I give up. Yeah, but let's see more in general what this transit is about for all of us, not only for these 4 signs. So Saturn in Pisces, we couldn't have 2 more different energies at play here because we have Saturn, which is the cold energy of matter, of reality, of don't get too close to me, stay there, rejecting, refusing sometimes, avoiding. And Pisces, which is, I want to stay with you, I want to merge with you, I want to be one with God, one with my lover, one with the universe, emotions. So it's tsunamis that come, and when they come, Pisces identifies with these waves. But here we have Saturn that is in Pisces now. So we have a tremendous opportunity to learn, because Saturn is, okay, wait, this tsunami is coming, but I can really move myself, place myself in a different position, maybe up the mountain, and so I can have a different vision. And from up there, it takes a whole new perspective. And it's like, you know, in psychoanalysis, when we have the adult and the child. I mean, when we are in a very bad place, suffering, when we are triggered, it's because we are in our inner wounded child. And Saturn can be the parent or the adult, both of them, that does a reality check, how Freud used to call it. So Saturn can be the adult that can hold space for the wounded child by detaching, by observing, by not getting caught into these emotional waves. But at the same time, it's important that we don't go the opposite side, just rejecting all these emotions and taking too much distance from them. So we have to find a balance here. So the first gift, amazing gift that we can have with this Saturn in Pisces transit is emotional mastery. The second thing is that Saturn is, as I said before, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Sometimes it's harsh. And when we set boundaries in a harsh and stiff way, it means that really below the surface, we don't really feel legitimated to set them. So here, putting together Pisces and Saturn can really teach us to set boundaries in a loving way. Second amazing gift of this transit. Third gift, learning a spiritual discipline. Because here we have Pisces, which is spirituality, a relationship with God, with the divine, that has to be brought, Saturn, into the matter, into the body. Our main matter, our main vessel is our body. So how do we bring spirituality into our body? But every day, that's the thing. We cannot skip any single day of our spiritual practice with this placement. That's what Saturn is teaching us. Find your spiritual routine. And for each of us can be different, because for some of us can be meditative just as we wake up in the morning. For others can be getting lost in the dance for 1 hour a day. For others is walking into the woods before going to bed. So find your spiritual routine. That holy place, holy practice that brings you back to yourself. And Saturn says, commit, commit, commit. Keep showing up, even if it's a bad day. Keep showing up, showing up, showing up. This builds a strong foundation, a strong vessel. This helps us really to tap into alignment, true alignment. The stronger we are in our body, the stronger we are in our alignment, the more we can really open and allow the spirit to act through us. Emotional mastery, setting boundaries with love, learning, spiritual discipline. And the fourth, not the last, is taking responsibility, another keyword for Saturn. Taking responsibility for what? In Pisces, we do the projections. In Pisces, we dissociate. And we are so good at dissociating. Watching TV series, reading, traveling continually, and doing courses, studying, keep doing trainings, using plant medicine a lot, or drugs, or alcohol. So here we really need to be very honest with ourselves about what are the runaways I found. How did I escape from my really feeling into myself? How did I disconnect from another person or from people because I'm afraid to get hurt? So how I could step into the avoidant mode because I am afraid to feel, I'm afraid to connect to emotions. Or how did I project onto somebody my fulfillment object without realizing that I can give it to myself? So I know you won't like that, but Saturn is also, Saturn in Pisces especially, is that bucket of cold water that is thrown at our face to wake us up from our illusions. So we must really be very honest. This is really radical honesty that is called upon with this transit. Because maybe what we projected onto others is really what we don't own, really, we don't accept as ours. And it's time to claim all this stuff back and to look it straight at the face of it without hiding anymore. And it's our ego most of the times that suffers. So in Pisces, we also learn to make ourselves smaller, because Pisces is the sign where the ego dies and the soul emerges. And also back to this adult and child. It's really interesting, also an exercise that I sometimes do when I am in these bad places, which maybe can be useful for you, which is journaling. And just write down, the victim says, the victim is Pisces. And most of the time it will say very heavy things. Oh, I'm so unlucky. I'm so heavy. Everything is going. Every time I do this, everything, you know, all the stories of the victim. And then after that, you write, the adult says, and you write down. And sometimes in 5 minutes, you can really shift energy with this exercise, because you become aware of these two roles that you have inside of you. And we all have them. I mean, some of us have maybe a less intense inner child, and an adult that is more developed, or sometimes the adult is work in progress and the child is taking a lot of space. So we have really to hold space for that, and allowing these two energies to interact with each other, to hold our intensity, because it's intense, Pisces, of course. So find your spiritual practice that also involves the body, because Virgo Pisces is also the axis of psychosomatic. So we have also this energy of I want this place, which is my sacred vessel, my sacred body, to become a holy temple that I honor. So tuning into what it really needs, spiritualizing the matter. So Pisces with Saturn. So let's see what this transit will bring for most of us. Of course, the less resistance we put to the process, the easier it will be. And we have an amazing opportunity to become much wiser with this transit, to be less ego-driven, and to really open up more to the medicine woman, medicine man that we have inside of us, the teacher. Saturn is really the great teacher, the Lord of Karma. So here also Pisces is very, very karmic sign. And Saturn is Lord of Karma. So here we have also a resolution on the subtler levels that we maybe are not really aware of, that is taking place, that will take place in the next 3 years. So let's allow ourselves to be transformed by this transit, and try also to enjoy it along the way.